Assalamualaikum and good morning, guys. Today we continue with our next chapter, which is endurance training. One of the uh, index that determine the performance or fitness of an athlete is endurance. In general, endurance ataupun ketahanan is very important aspect in determining the performance of the athlete. Uh, so, uh, if you still remember, endurance, uh, i.e., one of the fitness index, usually related with exercise volume and also repetition. Meaning to say, we have to increase as much as possible the repetition or the volume of the exercise in order to increase the endurance level. Okay, when we talk about uh, endurance, biasanya kita kaitkan training yang berkait dengan aerobic exercise. So aerobic means something that use type of exercise that use a modality yang involve cardiovascular system. So aerobic means use oxygen in energy production bila kita melakukan sesuatu exercise. Selain daripada muscle yang uh, prestasi masa yang bagus, dalam kes ni kita nak tingkatkan dia punya endurance. At the same time, kita perlu juga supporting element from cardiovascular system in a way to provide component ataupun things yang diperlukan untuk muscle contraction. Cardiovascular system secara umumnya dia increase blood flow to working muscle, to exercising muscle. Dalam kes ni blood flow provide nutrient and oxygen. Okay, nutrient which is fuel. Dalam konteks ni biasanya depend lah carbo or protein or fat. Okay, and also oxygen. Endurance can be divided into two types or two categories: general endurance and specific endurance. General endurance, a type of endurance yang kita tahulah, yang kita relatekan dengan increase of capacity of cardiovascular system, dan juga enhance capacity of muscle physiology dalam sesuatu sukan. And second type of endurance is specific endurance yang kita kaitkan dengan skill and technique of that particular sports. Okay, for example, kalau for example kita ambil contoh football. Okay, in football games, for a striker dia perlukan high level of endurance dalam usaha dia untuk penetrate defense of the opponent team. So dia perlukan a boost of energy, and at the same time dia kena sustainkan dia punya supply of energy untuk dia tewaskan team lawan. Okay, alright. So now we move to factors that can affect aerobic endurance performance. Which can be explained in three aspects. Okay, so ada tiga aspek lah yang boleh menentukan aerobic endurance performance. Okay, the first one, which is aerobic capacity. Okay, aerobic capacity means capacity to supply oxygen, okay, to the working muscle. So bila kita buat aerobic exercise, meaning to say dia melibatkan jantung untuk supply oxygen, specifically oxygen and other component lah like fuel, glucose, fat and etc. So one example of index yang kita gunakan untuk measure aerobic capacity is VO2 max. Okay, maximal oxygen consumption. Okay, maximal oxygen consumption. Dia punya unit atau dia punya short term is VO2 max. Okay, you can go through by yourself lah in detail. But in general, VO2 max biasanya kita sukat ataupun unit dia adalah millimeters per kilogram body weight per minute. Okay, so milliliters of oxygen. Okay, milliliters of oxygen per kilogram of athlete body weight per minute. So the higher the value, the better the VO2 max. So lagi tinggi VO2 max, lagi bagus lah. Meaning to say, dia punya tubuh punya kapasiti untuk menggunakan oksigen tinggi kalau dia punya value tinggi. Okay. Okay. Increase VO2 max level usually linked with the efficiency of heart in pumping the blood. So biasanya heart ni dia punya performance will increase selari dengan exercise training. Okay, so heart will change ataupun improve in terms of physiology and anatomy. In terms of anatomy, heart will increase in size. Okay, dia punya muscle will perform not significant hypertrophy, but dia punya once the heart cell, muscle fiber been trained for continuously, dia akan ada perubahan dari segi anatomy. Dia melibatkan perubahan diameter of the fiber. Okay, biasanya dia punya types of fibers yang membentuk muscle jantung adalah type 1. Okay, type 1, mostly type 1. Tapi dia berlaku ada perubahan dari segi morphology. Okay, dia punya size tu slightly increase. Okay, bila compare dengan yang normal punya heart ataupun athlete ataupun dengan a person who is not trained for that sport. Okay, and in terms of physiology, of course ada banyak benda yang berlaku seperti dia punya enzyme system improve. Okay, dia punya component that produce ATP also increase, for example mitochondria. Okay, so meaning to say aerobic capacity increase selari dengan increase function of heart ataupun cardiovascular system. Then second factor that determine aerobic capacity is hemoglobin. Okay, hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a molecule which carry oxygen in blood. Okay, so the higher the concentration of hemoglobin, the higher concentration of oxygen in the blood. Okay, so biasanya kalau kita dengar penyakit anemia means dia ada problem dengan jumlah hemoglobin. So dia ada less capacity untuk carry oxygen. So that's why anemia person biasanya dia cepat penat. Okay, sebab kurangnya oksigen. The third factor that associate with increased aerobic capacity is capillary density. Okay, capillary density dalam muscle, okay, ataupun tissue. So ialah logically when density of capillary higher, so the better the oxygen supply per unit of time. Okay, and number 4, finally, uh, as I mentioned just now, tapi dia under energy power plant in the cell, which is mitochondria. So mitochondria dia akan increase in dia punya volume ataupun number. So bila mitochondria bertambah, so the better energy production by the cell. So selari dengan good oxygen supply by cardiovascular system, mitochondria dia akan lebih efisien untuk menghasilkan ATP. Sebab bekalan oksigen tu banyak. That's dia punya kaitan lah. Better oxygen supply, better function of mitochondria to produce ATP. Okay. Second factor yang okay, just now factors yang boleh meningkatkan aerobic capacity. Okay, dia ada 4 tadi Okay, so actually okay, just to recall back, untuk ada 3 faktor yang yang menentukan, yang boleh meningkatkan aerobic exercise performance. Satu, aerobic capacity. Second, lactate threshold. Okay, lactate threshold. So jangan confuse dengan 4 tadi, iaitu energy power plant, hemoglobin and so on. Okay, so dia ada tiga faktor besar lah yang menentukan aerobic exercise performance. First is aerobic capacity, second is lactate threshold. Okay, lactate threshold, kalau you nak senang faham, biasanya dia berkait dengan you rasa penat lah. Okay, for example, kalau you first lari, kalau you tak train, you lari sampai je 500 meter, you rasa dah penat, kaki you rasa cramp, you tak boleh nak bergerak, you cuba 100%, dah full effort, you still tak boleh lari. Okay, kalau you train, mungkin selepas 5 kilometers, you rasa macam tadi, you rasa macam cramp, rasa penat, kaki pun dah tak boleh nak gerak. Okay, that one kita panggil ia berkait dengan lactate threshold. So exercise dia akan lambatkan untuk seseorang tu feel the fatigue ataupun muscle cramp, disebabkan dia punya lactate threshold higher, disebabkan oleh training. Okay, actually when you exercise, yang sebab utama menyebabkan kita rasa kejang ataupun fatigue adalah disebabkan oleh oxygen supply become limited. Bila oksigen kurang, dia akan menyebabkan terhasilnya lactic acid. Okay, disebabkan sel kita menggunakan anaerobic method untuk energy production. So biasanya lactic acid ni dia akan di-recycle bila ada sufficient oxygen. That's why kalau you penat, you tercungap-cungap, you sedut sebanyak mungkin oksigen untuk neutralize ataupun gunakan lactic acid itu untuk producekan energy, ATP. Okay. So the presence of lactic acid dan juga hydrogen ion dalam darah disebabkan oleh terhasilnya asid laktik ni, dia akan menyebabkan fungsi fisiologi tubuh kita becomes limited. However, dia punya efek tu tidak kekal. Okay, dia akan hilang apabila kita sedut enough oxygen untuk convertkan lactic acid tu untuk kita gunakan untuk hasilkan energy ataupun ATP. Okay. Uh, Antara contoh effect of when hydrogen ion concentration higher in blood, whereby dia akan menyebabkan pH jadi rendah, acid, dia akan reduce the function of enzyme and cellular function. Okay, so dia akan leads kepada muscle burning and fatigue. Okay. Okay, next is lactate threshold level. Biasanya dia berkait dengan percentage of VO2 max. If you see point number 4 and 5, dia mention dekat situ. For those yang dia punya threshold, lactate threshold is low, biasanya dia ada capacity untuk menggunakan lebih rendah dia punya intensity of exercise. Okay. Kalau you ada seorang atlet, seorang bukan atlet, yang bukan atlet, biasanya dia akan perform certain exercise pada intensity yang lebih rendah berbanding yang train. Okay. And then kedua-dua tu akan mengalami fatigue pada waktu yang berbeza disebabkan oleh capacity of aerobic capacity. Maksudnya trained person dia punya sistem oxygen supply tu better. So bila better, dia ada mechanism untuk neutralize oxygen. Untuk neutralize hydrogen dalam darah. Sebab dia ada better oxygen. So oxygen diperlukan untuk tukarkan lactic acid kepada glucose. Then glucose tu akan digunakan untuk energy production. So kesimpulannya, kalau you punya lactate threshold rendah, you cannot exercise pada intensity yang lebih tinggi. Okay, berbanding atlet. Atlet dia boleh exercise pada intensity yang lebih tinggi sebab dia punya energy oxygen supply lebih efficient. Alright, the next factor that can affect aerobic exercise performance is exercise economy. Exercise economy is defined as how much energy you spend to do a certain amount of work. Dalam konteks ni, exercise lah. Okay. Banyak mana energy yang you spend untuk you lakukan satu exercise. Okay. For example, kalau I letak two different person, okay, person ni dia bukan atlet, okay, normal persons. Satu, for example, dia yang overweight, satu yang normal weight. So, in terms of energy spend, the amount of energy spend will be different kalau kita tengok antara kedua-dua individu tersebut. So, meaning to say, there are several factors yang boleh menentukan how much energy is used untuk melakukan that particular exercise. Okay, if we put this context in athlete condition, so here we bring two different athlete, satu amateur athlete, satu lagi professional athlete. Okay, kita ambil contoh marathon. Okay, so yang amateur athlete ni biasanya dia punya cardiovascular system, okay, less efficient kalau kita compare dengan professional. Okay, meaning to say, kalau yang more efficient, biasanya dia punya exercise economy is better than amateur athlete. Okay, so here the first factor that can determine exercise economy is dia punya cardiovascular system efficiency. Okay. Next, kalau you tengok point yang last kali, okay, factors that affect exercise economy, the first one dia mention genetic. Betul, genetic. Genetic, for example here, kalau kita tengok contohnya, kalau kita compare African athlete dengan Asian athlete, even kalau you tengok kebanyakan atlet-atlet yang menang sukan Olimpik, for example marathon, half marathon, biasanya conquer oleh African. So genetic is play important function in determining the aerobic exercise performance dalam konteks exercise ekonomi lah. Okay, the next one is the degree of joint stability. This one kita boleh relatekan dengan anatomy parts ataupun anatomy structure of the athlete. Okay, particularly kalau contohnya dalam konteks marathon, kaki. Kalau you tengok, biasanya kalau kita tengok comparison between professional dengan amateur, kalau you tengok dia professional, dia punya degree of joint stability far better than amateur. Kalau you tengok structure kaki marathon runner dengan kita ambil lah 5 km runner, is totally different. Yang full marathon dia punya kaki tu macam melidi, so in terms of stability is better lah. So tapi pada masa sama, of course lah, another system also improve bersamalah. Dia tak ada case, dia tak akan jadi case kaki tu besar tapi tubuh dia tu kaki dia kecil tapi tubuh dia besar. Biasanya once yang practice ataupun exercise workout untuk long distance running, biasanya tubuh dia melidi. Sebab one of the factor is dia punya muscle fiber terbina composed of mostly type 1 fiber. Type 1 fiber biasanya dia punya diameter kecil. Okay, next one is flexibility. Okay, flexibility of the muscle. Dalam kes ni muscle lah. Okay, so flexibility of the muscle, dia akan mengurangkan penggunaan energi untuk movement. Okay, and the last one is neuromuscular coordination. Okay, so this one dia relate dengan training. So sufficient training is very important untuk memastikan a good integration di antara sistem saraf dengan sistem muscle. Okay, so in your final, please focus more on exercise economy. So factors yang boleh mempengaruhi exercise economy. Okay, so kalau you tengok yang last kali tu dia repeat the first one, genetic. So dia ada 4 lah, dia ada 5 lah. The first one I mentioned just now, improve cardiovascular system. Okay, genetic, degree of joint stability, and also degree of muscle flexibility. Sorry, tadi degree of joint stability and degree of muscle flexibility. And the last one is a good coordination between nerve and muscular systems. Alright, okay, just now untuk aerobic endurance performance. So now only one slide untuk kita discuss faktor yang menentukan performance, endurance performance untuk anaerobic punya exercise. Okay, ataupun sukan. Okay, biasanya sukan yang dikaitkan dengan anaerobic endurance performance, for example kita bagi contoh sprint. Okay, sprint, and lagi angkat berat and many more. Okay, so kat sini tak penting lah, maksudnya dalam konteks ni no need, you have to focus more on aerobic endurance performance. Anyway, kalau you tengok kat sini in terms of gender, of course gender, kalau you tengok between male and female, male dia punya capacity untuk increase anaerobic system far better than female. Kalau kita contoh dari segi kategori pun kita tak boleh nak combine sekali sebab male lebih better, lebih strong. Okay, Okay, muscle mass. Of course, male dia punya muscle mass bigger, okay, ataupun higher than female. Muscle fiber types and also my muscle fiber size. My muscle fiber types ni biasanya dia berkait rapat dengan fiber size lah. Okay, kalau untuk human kita ada tiga jenis fiber types. Type 1, type 2A and type X. Okay, type X yang paling besar lah dia punya size. So untuk bodybuilder biasanya dia composed of types 2X. Okay. Okay. The rest, okay, you boleh Google lah kot, cari. Okay, kalau if you want to know in detail, you can refer to textbook, and kalau you tak faham, you can refer to me. Okay. Okay, the last one, maybe the last one, physical training. So physical training, I mean, in this case, periodization exercise is very very important untuk increase your anaerobic endurance performance. Okay, kalau you not provide sufficient training, then maybe you punya muscle not at the highest level, at the peak level of performance. Okay, now we move to the last part, which is methods for developing endurance. Okay, there are several methods. If I'm not mistaken, there are three methods. Okay, the first one is endurance method. Okay, for endurance method, simply it's just you perform aerobic exercise for a long period of time. Tapi tengok you punya classification of that athlete. For beginner athlete, biasanya you perform 30 minutes exercise. Okay, and then you can increase the duration of exercise when you punya body dah adapt. Biasanya of course lah, bila you keep on practicing, you will reach at a point when you are becoming an experienced runner, so you can increase your workout to 2 hours. So mm, the longer the duration, uh, the better the condition you provide for your muscle to train. Okay. Okay, in terms of intensity, usually at the early stage, you start with the low intensity, and then biasanya bila you ada you punya target untuk participate in what type of tournament, and biasanya kita ada certain pace untuk 5 km tournament, 10 km, 21, 42, i.e. Full marathon. Okay, so intensity biasanya kita develop lah. So that's why kalau kita nak increase kita punya speed, we have to increase the intensity. Tapi we cannot run all the time dalam sukan larian. So we have to set the target. What pace you want to achieve for certain period of time. For example, kalau in 5 km running, for example, at the starting you start with the medium pace, and then biasanya at the end of the 5 km you increase the pace. Yalah, you are approaching the finish line. Kalau you slow, nanti yang lain akan overtake you. Second method, we call it as interval method, which is you combine between high intensity and low intensity phases. Meaning to say, you lari, okay, you lari as quick as possible, then uh, you alternatekan, followed with uh, low intensity phase. Contohnya you kurangkan you punya pace kepada low pace. Okay, during the low pace, you actually at the recovery period, you reward your body after you run as quick as possible just now. So this method is is good enough to uh, for two things. Satu untuk increase you punya endurance, and also satu lagi untuk increasekan, untuk tackle, untuk improve you punya speed. Okay, you punya speed. Okay. For interval method, biasanya you have to concern on your heartbeat. You cannot exceed. You have to monitor your heartbeats. Okay. So kalau you tengok dia ada banyak guideline. So I ada satu guideline. Kalau you tengok in the next slide, dia ada four zone. Okay, four zone of dia punya uh, racing heartbeats. Okay, racing heartbeat, race heartbeat. Mesti the zone 1 biasanya kita gunakan untuk workout, untuk warming up. Zone 2 biasanya uh, digunakan untuk uh, low intensity training. Okay. Mungkin high intensity phase you boleh apa ni applykan phase zone 3 and zone 4. Tapi you have to be careful, you can exceed uh, the heart capacity. Biasanya heartbeat ni salah satu indikator yang kita guna untuk monitor kita punya sistem jantung. Kalau over sangat, dia akan memberi kesan yang teruk lah. Mungkin jelah bila over training, you push to the limit all the time, dia akan memberi kesan yang tidak baik. Even training dia punya effect pun dia tidak improvekan dia punya performance. You, for example, fatigue, you tak cukup enough rest. Okay. Then the third one is a repetition method. Okay, in order for you to increase your endurance, method ketiga biasanya you just practice apa yang spec competition yang you join. Contohnya kalau you join untuk 10 kilometers, so you just repeat that one. You get practice regularly. Okay, you practice exactly the same in terms of dia punya length of competition. Biasanya when you get practice, of course lah, biasanya kita akan mix dengan method kedua tadi, iaitu kita mix antara low and high intensity. At the same time kita repeat, kita practice berdasarkan tournament yang kita akan join nanti. Okay. And the last one is competition method, whereby you punya training partners. We need to say everyone try to compete each other lah. Okay, bila sama-sama to fight untuk win the race, of course automatically everyone akan push everyone punya capacity to the limit. Dia panggil training sparring partner. Okay, which is good lah. Okay, and also biasanya competition method ni is good as a strategy. Biasanya kalau you tengok dalam Olimpik, dalam salah satu kategori tu dia ada hantar wakil 2 atau 3 untuk contohnya 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. Dia ada dia punya strategi lah, mungkin untuk blocking and so on. Now we move to the last part of this chapter, which is periodization of endurance training. Okay, like other performance index. Okay, performance index, strength, for example. Endurance also follow the same phase. We got phase 1 until phase 6, melibatkan sport specific, tapering, peaking, rest and recovery. And biasanya the phase 1 biasanya dia melibatkan preparation. So we target on the general anatomy and physiological adaptation. Biasanya we start with the low pace, simple exercise training, for example walking, cycling, hiking, swimming and so on. Biasanya kita tak target lagi dari segi higher, moderate and higher intensity. Okay, we need to introduce the training slowly to the athlete, especially for the athlete yang baru start training after dipanggil apa ni, off season. Okay, kita tak straight kepada specific training, higher load tak boleh. Okay, so after a month of preparation training, kita panggil easy exercise training, and then we focus on the major area of fitness. Biasanya kita nak kita spesifik kepada endurance and strength. So endurance kita akan increasekan dia punya training volume, okay, from low to moderate to high, and same goes to strength. We need as well strength. Okay, kalau you still remember ya tadi kita juga dalam method of endurance tadi kita ada method number 2 if I'm not mistaken, combination between high and low intensity. Still we need to increase the strength even though it is endurance. Okay, strength is needed for speed. Okay, so phase 2 biasanya dia mengambil masa beberapa bulan sebab kita perlukan lebih masa untuk build up kita punya fitness, kita punya strength, power and so on. During this phase biasanya you perform all types of exercise, okay, sebab you nak make sure all muscle involved in that exercise are activated and well trained. Okay, and also you try to improve your weaknesses during this period. You try to increase your joint and muscle flexibility and stability. And also during this phase you need to care as well on your nutrition plan. So pemakanan is very important for body adaptation and repair mechanism. Okay, phase 3 biasanya kita practice on fitness yang melibatkan exercise yang spesifik kepada sukan yang kita akan involve. Biasanya kita akan lebihkan kepada, kita akan follow exactly spec dalam race ataupun games yang kita akan involve, seperti kita akan follow, kalau contohnya kalau you involve dalam 10 km then you practice using that range, that jarak. Okay, and also in this stage you improve your strategy and mental skill. Okay, and during third phase as well, you biasanya you athlete biasanya dia akan involve dalam sukan maksudnya sebagai nak test dia punya performance, dia punya level of fitness sebelum dia join the real competition. The next one is tapering phase, whereby you reduce your training session or training volume. Biasanya dia melibatkan 1 to 2 weeks before the competition. Okay, during this stage, walaupun kita kurangkan dia punya training volume, tapi kita kita melakukan sedikit modifikasi terhadap training, whereby kita akan lebihkan kepada high intensity training, okay, tapi short period. Okay, based on the research lah, that one based on the research, that one dia tidak memberi kesan yang negatif berbanding kalau kita keep on practicing ataupun exercising on on low intensity tapi high volume. Kalau you tengok okay, the guideline BCDE, it should be ABCD. Okay, biasanya kita akan kurangkan training volume very drastic, which is 80 to 90%. and then dia punya frekuensi pun berkurangan, okay, up to 20%. Maksudnya kalau kita training 10 kali, biasa kita akan kurangkan kepada 8 kali. Okay. And then kalau competition yang atlet tu involve berlangsung 1 jam ke bawah, biasanya dia punya tapering period is 1 week. Kalau more than, kalau competition game yang dia join tu more than 1 hour, biasanya tapering period is 2 weeks. Okay. Okay, phase number 5 is peaking. Okay, peaking, if you see the definition, is uh, 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 a time when the athlete is at the highest level of performance, and then dia punya fitness is at the peak level. Okay, including physical, emotional, and mental. Okay, usually uh, peaking phase mengambil seminggu ke 2 minggu. Okay, and biasanya atlet ni berada dalam at the highest level of performance dalam tempoh 1 ke 4 minggu. And then dia depend kepada how athlete spend dia punya energy ataupun involve dalam sukan tersebut. Okay, kalau you tengok dalam World Cup, only certain individu or football player yang involve in almost games. Okay, biasanya the the one with a good fitness level, excellent fitness level, will involve in all games. And even dia tak main 100% lah, dia tak main 90 minutes, dia akan mungkin masuk second half, so depend lah. Okay, even though athlete berada dalam highest level of performance, biasanya dia still ada tempoh untuk dia training. Okay, biasanya dalam skala yang kecil lah. Okay, dia akan training rest untuk memastikan dia punya performance tu maintain. Okay, for example, kalau you ada game on Sunday, biasanya next day you akan take a break and then train balik Rabu Khamis, and then also you akan taper, reduce the game, the training on Saturday, and take a break a day before, and you take a break, sort of a break before game on Sunday. Okay, and the last one is rest and recovery. Okay, you need this phase in order for your body to fully recover from fatigue. Okay, and you mentally and physically prepared for the competition. Biasanya fasa ni dia berlangsung sehingga dari 1 minggu ke 2 bulan, bergantung kepada competition ataupun games tersebut. And also fitness level juga mempengaruhi rest and recovery. Kalau you punya fitness level is relatively low, then you need more time for rest and recovery berbanding yang lagi tinggi fitness level. And the last point is another importance of rest and recovery is this is the right time for you to fully recover from heavy training. Okay, and to make sure you tak overtraining, tak burn out, and also to prevent from depression. Okay, this table show to you example of volume, exercise volume and exercise intensity for that particular sport during each phase. Okay, preparatory, pre-competition, tapering, competition, and transition. Okay, just focus on volume and intensity. Kalau you tengok kat situ, dia punya volume, preparatory, dia punya volume is moderate to high, and then dia akan uh, increase, dia akan reduce kepada moderate to stabilize your endurance level, and then tapering, still perform the exercise low to moderate to make sure you maintain the fitness level. Same goes to competition, low to moderate. And of course, during transition, rest and recovery, no exercise training at all to make sure you fully recovered from the heavy training, and also competition during the period. Okay, I think that's all for this chapter. And please pay more attention on uh, aerobic factors on influencing aerobic capacity. Okay, for example, VO2 max, hemoglobin, and so on, and also exercise economy, faktor yang boleh mempengaruhi exercise economy seseorang atlet. Okay, I think that's all for today. Thank you.